And welcome back to the Started Somewhere podcast, everybody. I'm your host, Ross Alex. Now, today I have an amazing entrepreneur joining us from Orlando, Florida. His name is Marco Kozlowski. And he's here right now with us live to share his story to success and what he's been doing. So, Marco, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Hey, absolutely. You know, we were just talking before the show and talking about Instagram. You're saying you're brand new to social media. I actually found you on social media. So what made you want to kind of get into the social media world?
Well, if you don't, you die, right? If you're not growing, you're dying. And doing it the old way of just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So if people don't know what you're up to and what you're doing, and it's a simple way of getting your message out there. And I better late than never to the party.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to help as many people as I can, and it's a great platform to be able to do that.
I agree. Are you just doing Instagram, or are you doing Facebook and LinkedIn as well? Or?
LinkedIn, I'm a little bit behind the ball on that one. Maybe I should, but Facebook, I think we have 15,000 followers, or on that one, and Instagram, I'm still growing. I'm just over 15 or 1,600 now. So
yeah, the big one, Marco, right now is TikTok. That's
yes, don't I have to sing and dance or something? Don't I have to do some?
You might have to bust out a couple moves. That's a million views right there, man.
There you go.
That's a million views. Yeah, TikTok is unbelievable, though. I mean, people are getting viral overnight and becoming sensations. Yeah. But anyways, Marco, so for the people that don't know who you are, right, you're no stranger to the game, but could you share with us kind of like a brief overview of what you do?
Sure. I buy multifamily or cash flowing properties using none of my own money or credit on about 1,500 units a year. And I show and empower others to do it as well, to replace whatever income you have with passive income. So instead of working a day, getting paid for a day, you buy a property that pays you a passive recurring revenue, and you buy enough of those and you don't have to work anymore and actually enjoy life. So I hit a few thousand units a few years ago. I decided to retire, which was pretty terrible because I have massive ADHD, which is high definition attention deficit disorder. And if I'm not stimulated or active, I get into trouble. So I spend my days and nights and weekends trying to help as many people as I can achieve financial success. It's a lot of fun. I have 4 kids, and now that they're grown, now I have other children that I can help, which I don't need to be condescending. I just want to help as many people as I can achieve financial freedom. And it's a lot of fun. It's nice to see someone that's completely broke, struggling, and then quits their job and, does $40,000 a year from zero. It's a lot of fun to see that.
I couldn't agree more. Have you always been interested in helping people and passionate about giving back to people?
Yes. I used to be a piano teacher many years ago. Actually, my background is a concert pianist. I was a concert pianist, and I taught piano for a period of time, and I loved seeing people do well. Then I wanted to go into business, and I was pretty shitty at it. It took me a long time to figure out how to. Can I say shitty, by the way? Am I allowed to say
Oh,
those?
Yeah, we encourage it.
All right, good. All right. Because I'm a straight talker. I don't like to.
No, go ahead, man. No, don't hold back.
So I struggled a long time. I'm from Canada, originally from Montreal. And Canadians by nature are very submissive folks. And when I started getting into real estate, because piano was not, I made $5,000 a year Canadian, which is like $3,500 American a year. And I got married at 18, had 4 kids at 24. And it was really hard to feed a family on hardly any money. And real estate, I saw an infomercial actually on how to buy real estate, Carlton Sheets, almost over 20 years ago. And bought this, inhaled everything, and some stuff worked, some stuff didn't, and started doing business in the U.S. because it wasn't that far from Montreal, and actually only bought properties in the U.S. for a very long time as a Canadian, and now I live in the U.S. But that's that. That's how I got started, and gave up piano and went into buying real estate.
Okay, so 2 things there. So number one, I really want to learn piano. I admire everything about piano. I took lessons for like a year or two when I was growing up, but I forgot how to play everything. So definitely admire that. And the second thing, I've always wanted to go to Montreal. So
it's a great city. It's a great city.
I feel like Montreal, of course, is a different country than the U.S., but I feel like I've never been there, but it's kind of like out of place from where it is located. Like it's like a different world over there.
It is. It's like Europe. It's
right.
older buildings. If you've ever been to Europe, it's like a mini Europe in Canada, which is really nice. Toronto is, very, very much like New York, but clean. Not that New York is dirty, but they're definitely cleaned up over the years. But Montreal is a really fabulous city. People like to have fun there. Very, very fashion forward. I'd say it's almost like the San Francisco of. It's like a European San Francisco, but in Canada.
They're big on parties up there, right? Like dance parties.
I can't deny without the express written permission of the secretary, but yes, they like to have drinking. Drinking is definitely on the menu.
That's awesome, man.
The drinking age is a suggestion in Quebec for sure.
So Marco, you got into real estate. Just to backtrack here. You were teaching piano. You realized it just wasn't enough to feed your family at the time. It wasn't bringing enough income. You needed another way, and you discovered real estate. And did you say you discovered real estate through like some sort of like an infomercial or something like that?
Yeah, Carlton Sheets. I hope you
Carlton Sheets. Yeah,
veteran.
That's
the
old
original,
school right
the
there.
OG,
That's the OG.
He is the OG.
So this infomercial was to teach you how to buy single-family residential property or multifamily?
All residential. Yeah, all I did was residential at first. In fact, I got really good at doing sandwich lease options. That's how I did a lot of those, where you lease a property and then, for X, and then you sublease the property for Y, you make the spread, and then you get a deposit when you, you do a lease option, right? So you're making cash flow, you get a big deposit, and then when they sell the property, you get the equity, which was nice.
Now, did you attend some sort of like a boot camp, or did you order like a DVD or?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
So
how did
so I was married at the time. I was married for 12 years. I got married at 18. I had 4 kids at 24, and I got divorced when I was 30. And I had financial problems. At 18, I was broke, 19, 20, 21, and I had financial problems for a very long time. So I was 27, 28. And you know what the number one cause of divorce is?
Financial.
It's marriage.
Issues.
It's marriage. It'll take. It's a grenade joke. It'll sneak up on you and then get you. It's all good. But no, it is financial problems, and so we got divorced, and what would happen when I first got into real estate is every dollar that I made, I want to reinvest back into the business. I want to learn more. I want to go to another class. I want to go to this class, that class. I want to get and there's a lot of classes. There were a lot of classes out there, and they weren't cheap. And I knew if I learned one thing, that I would be able to take that one thing and turn that into money if I applied it. The knowledge is useless unless you really apply something. And that put a lot of strain on our relationship, because like, hey, you just made some money. Let's spend it here or spend it there. And I wanted to reinvest. If I've been broke for 12 years, I'll be broke for another 1 year or 2 years, because knowledge is much more important to me than getting a new car, or we could still take care of our family. But I knew that the real exit was, the more I sharpened my axe, the more I knew, the more I could apply, the more money I would make. And I'm still very good friends with my first wife. I've been married twice. We were more friends because I was 18 and she was 30 when we got married. That's a long story, but she was she was my piano teacher. That's the conversation for another time.
Part 2.
She was 12 years my senior, and she was the boss in a relationship, and I was a stay-at-home dad. I took care of the kids, and I really understood the dynamics of real estate and communicating with people. So it made sense to me. So I really wanted to learn. And once I start something, I just want to be the best at it that I can. And that put a little bit of pressure on us. We decided to get divorced. We're still very good friends. She's been remarried. I've been in all her marriages, like not as her, as her partner, but we're still extremely good friends because we have 4 kids together. So we were our kids are super grateful that we never fought. And I just wanted to learn as much as possible. So I took care of the kids, made sure that they were fine, but I learned as much as I could. So yes, I attended boot camps. I attended you name it, I probably attended it. And some things, I know that they teach don't work because it's more of a seminar. They're more in the seminar business than they are in the actual what works business. And as the market changes as well, what you teach today might not work in 2 months from now, right? It's just
Of course.
market change. So I just wanted to have all that understanding and a lot of trial and error. Like I screwed up a lot of deals, and the School of Hard Knocks was way more expensive than getting a mentor or someone else. I've had many people that have guided me, people that I've met there. How much does it cost to work with that guy? I'll pay whatever it takes. I don't really believe that money belongs to me. It belongs to when I die. I can't take it with me anyway, right? So the knowledge is something that I can really use for the rest of my life. The money will come and go.
Yeah.
So I've taken a lot of classes.
Super powerful. Yeah, and I agree with everything you just said. More often, I see it takes people a lot longer to get results, to get to where they want to be when they try to just, do it the hard way, that School of Hard Knocks. They try to learn a little bit here, learn a little bit there, as opposed to just getting on the fast track, hiring the right people, getting the right program, getting the right education, and getting to where they want to be.
I think the misconception there is that you believe that money is more valuable than time. And if you are on your deathbed, you're not wishing you paid a bill. You don't go, oh, I wish I had paid that bill. I wish I had an extra $1 million. The only thing that you wish when you have no time left is more time.
More time, of course.
And that's when time becomes the most valuable. So as we get older, as we have more snow on the mountain, we realize that time is much more valuable than money. And those that, hey, this class is $3,000 or $5,000, and it's not cheap because the knowledge is worth a lot, especially only if you apply it. If you never use it, then, shame on you on that. But that's another conversation. But if someone is investing 3, 4, 5,000, which I've multiple times, 10, 20, 100,000, I've had mentors that are 100,000. Tony Robbins is $1 million for an hour of his time or 20 minutes of his time, something ridiculous. But because
imagine that.
But you're committed by the time you get there, and you pay the money, you're invested at that point, and whatever you need, you're going to get the answer, and you're shortcutting that time. You're basically, so in school you're not allowed to cheat, right? So if you cheat, you get punished. But in business, if you don't cheat, you can't win. So getting a mentor or an advisor or someone that knows the answers, that's how business works. Is who's the best in the business? I'm going to pay you so I don't have to go through that learning curve, and I'm going to get results. But most people think, well, that shit, $2,000, you know how much I could do with $2,000, but let me go buy another pack of cigarettes, or let me go buy some more beer. If you had to make a choice, the knowledge applied will allow you to buy as many cigarettes, as much beer as you want. Go kill yourself later. But learn as much as you can now, apply it. It's going to hurt, because anything that has value takes time and effort, and it takes money. But you can shortcut that time by getting the right people around you that know what they're doing, how to do it. And instead of taking it 10 years, it can take you 1 or 2 years.
Now, what would you tell somebody that doesn't necessarily have the money to invest into that program, into that boot camp, or that mentor?
If they don't have the money, then educate yourself as much as you can online, but save up as much as you can and get someone that you trust that can get you there. You can't put a price tag on knowledge and someone telling you what to do and how to do it. As long as they have the right interest at heart. You're not just someone that wants to take your money and bail, but someone that really cares about your success. And that's hard to find. Most people in business, you pay me, thanks for your cash, peace out, like we're out, right? That's you can't work with someone like that. You need to work with someone that actually gives a shit about your result, and that is tied in some way to you getting that result. But again, you have to put in the effort. So if you've worked 2 years, it's like my first kid's car, or my first car. I had to I asked my dad for a car. You know what he said? Get a job. I don't know about your dad, but that's how I was raised. I had to leave when I was 16 years old, because I was already a man in his he left when he was 14. He's like, you're slow. You're 16. Get the hell out of my house. I was kicked out of my house at 16 years old. And I want a car, get a damn job. Kids, same thing. If I work really hard for that first car, I'm going to take care of that car. I'm going to do whatever it takes to make sure that car is in great shape. But if it's given to me, I'm going to beat the shit out of it, and I'm not going to take care of it, because I don't know what that car is worth. Well, that car is a mentor. It's the same thing. It's a vehicle that gets you from point A to point B. So if you want to shortcut wherever you want to go, just get the right mentor. And I think just get the right advisor. Trump, like him or hate him, he's surrounded by people that advise him all the time. Any successful person that I've met, billionaires, are all surrounded by the most successful people they can find that advise them. That's how you become successful.
Golden nuggets right there. I love it, man. So, Marco, you just switching gears here and going back to the house business, the sandwich leases. So, you were doing some houses. Now, do you remember what your very first deal was?
I do. It was it was in Syracuse, New York.
Okay.
And it was I think I bought it for $38,000. And it's probably still worth $38,000 20 years later. It was a little, it was a shit box, ugly. I made money on it and I sold it, and I just didn't want to be there anymore. But
did you rent it out, or did you fix it?
I tied it up. I tied it up. I got a lease option deposit. And then, I think I made $8,000 on the downstroke, which is, so I leased it with an option. Like, let's say I'll buy it for $38,000. I think I actually leased it for 25, with the option to buy it at 25,000. So I'll buy it for 25,000, pay you $500 a month on a lease. And then I rented it to someone else for $800 a month. And they gave me $8,000 down to buy it for $35,000, something like that. So, I got the $8,000 right away in my pocket, and $8,000 at the time was like $1 million. I'd never seen $8,000 in one place. That's like a year and a half salary for me. It was like, actually it was more because it was U.S. funds. And at the time, Canadian dollar was still terrible. It was like, it was just ridiculous. And I just stared at this check, and it was, I call it the shut up check. When everyone around you is telling you, caca, caca, it's not going to work, caca, caca. You should
I like
now.
that.
Caca, caca. It's the shut up check. Here's your shut up check. Get out of here. And then I was on steroids. And I took that $8,000. I took $1,000 and I put it towards, the bills. I had way more than bills than I actually had more than $8,000 in bills. I took $1,000 and I put the $7,000 towards more education so I could learn how to make more money. And had I not done that, I wouldn't be making what I do now.
Wow. I'd say that's definitely a bold move to, take such a large chunk of money at the time and invest it right back into your education.
You're the most important person that you should be investing in.
I agree tenfold.
Whoever's listening to this, you are the most important person to take care of. Other than you have your family, of course. I'm not saying being selfish about it. Saying invest in yourself so you can take care of your family later. If you have to suffer, if it's a pain in the ass for another year, if it's a shitstorm for one more year, who cares? If you learn more, you can start as soon as it clicks, you can start buying. With knowledge, you can, you're in the business in Houston, right? So if you want to buy a property, you know what to do, you know how to do it, you go ahead and buy it. You just know what to do. Exactly. You can't put a price tag on that. It's a license to print money because you know what to do. That's it.
I like it, man. So you did that first deal in Syracuse, and to date, you're, managing a portfolio, 6,000 units. I mean, how did we get to this point today? Like, what does that look like?
Okay, so first of all, I don't manage 6,000 units because if I did, I wouldn't be able to talk to you right now.
Well, you own 6,000 units.
I own a lot of them. Right?
Yeah.
I stopped counting at 6,000, which was a little bit ago. We sold some, we bought some. We buy about 1,500 units a year. I'm no longer tied to that number. It's not the number that I care about. It just happens because the machine is there. But it's a healthy number.
So you own a bunch of apartment blocks. Right?
Apartment buildings, hotels, motels, storage unit facilities, mobile home parks. Probably own a couple thousand mobile home units, couple thousand apartments. Definitely a couple thousand hotels, storage unit facilities across the country. Over 30 states, all across the country, and I don't leave this spot when I do it. I stay right here. I don't go look at the properties. I don't do shit. I have created a process where we're marketing a lot, and the marketing is free. I don't believe in spending money in marketing because that's money down the toilet. I have a very specific process where agents, sellers, off-market properties are coming to us, and we're buying them in a way where we don't have to use any of our money to do it.
Okay. So you said something that's definitely going to be controversial. I already know for the listeners out there. Marketing is a waste of money.
Well, hang on a second. Marketing in this space for me
Okay.
is a waste of money.
Okay. Elaborate on why in your space, in the hotels, apartments, RV parks, marketing is a waste of money.
Because the properties that are either for sale now or have access to agents that know of off-market properties, there are enough of them to keep me fed without having to spend a nickel on marketing. So if I speak to a real estate agent, I have a very specific strategy on how I communicate with them, where whatever they have, anything that's for sale on the MLS is retail, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're in the business, you should know this. MLS is retail. That's like going to a Neiman Marcus or Nordstrom, or and it's full price. You're paying full price on the MLS because if it was a good deal, it'd already be gone, right?
For the most part, there are very certain circumstances where sellers will negotiate.
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. I'm not saying that there's no deals to be had.
They're rare. Yeah.
I'm not disputing that there are deals on the MLS. I'm just saying the agent's responsibility is to sell it for as high as possible.
Agreed.
And my job as an investor is to buy it as low as possible.
Absolutely.
And can you get a great deal on the MLS? Absolutely. Can you negotiate with the seller to get the right price? Absolutely. Not denying that. All I'm saying is that if it's on the MLS, generally speaking, not exceptions, because obviously this business is all about exceptions.
It's retail.
But if it's off market, it's better than on market. Would you agree on that?
Overall, yes. Overall, broad spectrum, 100%.
Yes, generally speaking. Again, are there some sellers that are, smoking some wacky tobacco and, asking 3 times the price? Of course, because they just don't understand.
Yeah, overall, off market, you can't compete with on market.
Generally, off market's better. Mm-hmm. So, if I have an agent where they get a phone call, and again, I'm talking about my space, which is, apartment buildings or multifamily, and the agent just doesn't have the cash position to be able to buy it, but they can get a commission on it, or a wholesaler that just doesn't know what, they don't have the money. Wholesalers are people that find properties, tie them up with contracts, and then sell the contract. For those of you that don't know what wholesaling is, if you're a beginner, very powerful way of making money. But I believe wholesaling is selling the sheep and not the wool. Because if you get the right price, you can probably buy it and not have to, and still make cash and still make cash flow. So you're not selling the goose that's laying the golden egg every month. But anyway, so we get a property, and if I speak with an agent and they know that I'm a buyer, which I am, and they know what parameters I'm looking for, then I have an agent that's scouring because they want a commission, right?
Of course.
So they're going to be looking for deals that are off market because they're the ones, they're the ones doing the marketing generally anyway. They're scouring, trying to get a listing. And if they get a listing and I can get them a commission before they have to put a package together, put it on the MLS, do this, do that, and I can scoop it up and they can get a commission really quick, it's going to me or anyone that understands my processes before it goes to the MLS. So we're getting the deals before they even hit the market. And you do that enough times, and then they go, hey, I have a banker that I want you to talk to. And now the bank takes back a property and it's not on the books yet. It hasn't been listed yet. They want it off the books before it actually gets on the books. You get that deal next. So you want to be positioned where you're getting the deal before anyone else does. And it doesn't mean you have to be in the business for 100 years. It's just having the right conversation with the right agent at the right time. I liken it to you're in the Northeast. You've been to New York City. My daughter lives in New York City, and if I go to a store and I look around and it's the right store, I ask the right questions. They hit a button, and the store is behind the store. This store that you see is not really the store. There's the store. It's the store behind the store where the goods are.
We're talking about Chinatown.
We're talking. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh yeah.
But that's where the store is, right? And I know of one on Madison Avenue. It's a front for something else. But there's the store. And that's the point. Is if you know what questions to ask, you can get the store behind. You can get the deals that are actually really there. Because if I'm an apartment building seller, specifically in my space, which is apartment buildings, multifamily, mobile home park, hotel, I want to sell this thing. I don't want my employees to know, because if my employees know that I'm selling it, what's going to happen? They're going to think, well, what's going on? Am I going to still have a job? They're going to start looking for a job. It's going to destabilize the property. tenants, some tenants have a lot of time, and they're looking on the, hey, our property's for sale. What's going to happen? Destabilizes the property. So a savvy seller will always go off market before they go on market because they don't want to spook the tenants.
Mm-hmm.
And tenants are important. No tenants, no cash flow.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was a long rant. Sorry, but I can have a conversation with an agent that brings me 10 deals a day, 10 deals a month. It's called 10 good solid deals a month, and I don't have to spend $1 in marketing. And to me, that's a better use of my time than spending money on a ton of marketing, buying lists that other people have bought. And I'm not, maybe I poo-pooed it at the beginning where I'm spending this amount. I've seen, like, pardon the expression, it's like a cockfight, right? I'm spending $5,000 in marketing. I'm spending $10,000. I'm spending $100,000 in marketing. They're all showing off, how big each, you know what I mean?
Of course.
And it's like, well, is it how much money you spend that matters, or how much money you make that matters? Because you don't have to spend money if you do it right. Right. And again, that's through good processes and knowledge applied.
I agree with you in your space, which is apartments, hotels, storage parks, stuff like that. In the single family housing space, it is a bit differently when it comes to marketing. Only because, in the single family housing space, just this is my opinion. But I mean, if you're not doing the thing is, Marco, if you're in the single family housing space and you've been in it, if you're not doing your own marketing, it is pretty damn tough.
It's going to be tough
to get a deal.
I'm going to preface that I did luxury homes for a long time. I did luxury home. I flip mansions because if I'm going to flip a property that makes 10 grand, why don't I flip a bigger one and make 150, 200 grand? And I actually still have my marketing letters here. All right. And they're with these I don't know if you can see this, but these are airmail envelopes. So to rewind what I said, in that specific space, this campaign, I would send out 1,000 letters a month. So in retrospect, this worked miracles. Got it? On this campaign for that specific space. So yes, based on what business that you're doing, you have to do what it takes.
Yeah. So for the listeners out there on Apple and Spotify, we are also live on YouTube with this interview, so you can see the marketing he just.
Yes, it is it's a letter that says airmail on it, and your grandma used to receive these.
Hey, it's a nice letter. It catches your attention. So Marco, so being that this is the Start It Somewhere show, right? We talked a little bit about your upcoming, where you were as a piano teacher. Let's talk about the challenges, right? Because I'm sure, being in the business for as long as you've been, you've definitely had some ups and downs, and entrepreneurship is like a freaking roller coaster, and it's crazy. Yeah. And you've been in business through a downturn, and we're kind of experiencing something like that right now with the whole coronavirus pandemic. There's a lot of uncertainty in the market right now. So let's take it back. What would you say one of your toughest challenges that you've ever had to overcome was?
Myself, probably. Shitting on myself a lot. That was the hardest because we're our own worst enemy. And I've had some pretty shitty things happen. I got remarried. My spouse took everything I had, disappeared. I was homeless. Right at the time in 2008, where I lost 600 houses, over 600 houses. Wow. My credit went from 800 to my shoe size real fast.
600 houses.
I had 600 houses
gone.
And zero. Well, it was 2008. I don't know if you. Yeah.
I was just graduating high school in 2008.
You were still growing an umbilical cord.
I had no idea what was going on.
You don't know what's going on.
I was a young punk.
You were growing facial hair.
Yeah,
it's okay. Yeah. I was all of mine. Yeah, it was terrible. And I was homeless, and and I had 4 kids to feed, and I didn't know what the hell I was going to do, and it was probably the worst time of my life. And I had 2 choices: go on a trail of self-destruction, which is kind of the direction that I was going in. I actually went on benders. I lived in Vegas. I was going on benders, and actually had 3-day complete blackout. And I remember having a conversation with a homeless man telling me to wear red socks. I'm like, what the hell was all that all about? But it haunted me for days. I actually ended up buying red socks, and put them on, and it actually changed my life.
Wait.
Because so it's a
What?
story that
Okay.
I'm not shitting you.
Wait. Okay. You gave us a lot there, Marco. You gave us a lot
Yeah.
there. Wait. So. Okay. So you're homeless in Vegas.
I'm homeless in Vegas.
Okay, on a bender.
On a bender, like drugs and alcohol.
On the strip.
I'm killing myself. I have lost millions of dollars overnight. My spouse went into my bank account, took everything that we had, and then just disappeared.
Holy shit.
Vanished. So it's not like we're getting divorced. It's just I wake up one day and everything I have is gone. My credit cards aren't working. I have no money in my bank accounts. It's 08. All the money that I had saved is gone, and the safe is gone. I had been saving because at the time, you don't think you remember this, but in 2005, 2006, 2007, I was buying, for example, a luxury home, and I was pulling out $500,000-$600,000 at closing. You could do these non-recourse cash out loans, literally pulling out $500,000-$600,000. You could buy as many as you want. Jeez. This is when they were giving away money like it's candy. Mm-hmm. Literally, I could buy 10 houses a month. It wouldn't matter. I could have $5 million cash, and I was splashed. I'm a saver,
like the
right?
Big Short.
And I was just putting money away, and all that cash was gone. She was gone. Person I trusted was gone. I was betrayed, and I was hurt, really hurt. And jeez. I was literally wanting to kill myself. And the only way I knew how was drugs and alcohol. And ran into a homeless man. He said, "You should try wearing red socks for a while." And I don't even know if there was a homeless man or if it was a guardian angel or whatever it was, but I searched the internet. I found not these exact socks because these are new because I have stacks of them now. Anyone that joins me or is part of my tribe gets red socks, and you'll understand the story better. But it basically goes from being sorry for myself to being grateful every single day, and going from a place of service. And what basically happened is I put on socks. I was feeling sorry for myself. I got a phone call from one of my best friends who just had a baby. And for the first time in weeks, I was very present for him. I was helping him. I was really just myself again, and not, telling everyone my sob story and poor me, just feeling sorry for myself. And people just, when you're that negative person, everyone wants to back the hell away from you. And for the first time in, like I said, weeks, I was just present for him. I was there for him. And he offered to lend me money, which for him was his entire life savings. With the new baby on board, it really touched me and moved me to, if I tell the story in full, I start crying because it still affects me. And I look down and I just see these red socks, and the reflective side of me said, I wasn't an asshole. I wasn't just thinking about me. I was there, and I was being of service to another human. And ever since of August 27th, that's the date of 2009. That was the date that happened. August 27th, 2009. I've been wearing red socks every single day, unless I'm wearing sandals because I'm not German. I can't wear socks and sandals. So it's a joke if you see that. So it basically allows it comes from a point of, it's not because I like I'm not a Red Sox fan. I don't even like baseball, no offense. But it's just to be grateful every single day, to come from a place of service. How can I help others? I want 1 million people at my funeral. You're all invited. And I just want to help as many humans as I can before I kick the bucket.
Wow, man. That's deep. Did you ever find that homeless man? And
No. I've gone back to Vegas multiple times. Never found him. And like I said, I was so intoxicated that it could have been a complete hallucination. I don't even know if there was a homeless man. All I know is that shift in thinking for me was huge. So that was the biggest hurdle I had to overcome, was stop feeling sorry for myself, get out of my own way and just start helping and serving other people. Now, here's the thing is in 08, 09, so I went from that to then instantly going back to what I should have been doing, start the hustle again, made a connection with a couple of banks. Cause at that time you could buy a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in Vegas with a pool for $25,000, $25,000, 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a pool. That's worth $500,000 now. Jeez. So I tied up as many as I could. I went to people that I know that had money, that hadn't lost everything. And I said, hey, we're going to buy some property. You're going to own 51. I'm going to own 49. You're in control of it, but I own 49%. and we're just going to buy as many of these as possible because they can only go up. You can't build a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in Vegas for the pool, and now's the right time. And we bought hundreds of them, and that allowed me to bounce right back.
Wow!
So I went from seeing what's happening now with the coronavirus. Just in the last 7 days, we've gotten tons of property at 50% off of retail value. Because people want to cash up now, the dominoes have started falling. And if you know what to look for and you position yourself right, you can just scoop up a shite ton of property. And the beauty of this now is the federal, the prime rate now is at 0, right? Not prime, sorry. The Fed is lending at 0, which means prime is the lowest it's ever been. And these lenders have all this money that they need to deploy. They have money. Wall Street needs to spend its money, right? If they don't spend it, they don't grow. And there are channels where you can access this cash at really low interest on great deals that cash flow like crazy. So it's a recipe. It's a phenomenal recipe. Great cash flow with low money, with people that need to sell quickly, is a recipe for making millions right now. So now is a really great time to get involved in real estate. Amazing time. Best time I've ever seen.
Wow.
Really exciting.
Interesting. So you're in full-on buy mode, I assume.
Oh yeah, I've been sitting in this spot for the last 7 days. Luckily my bathroom's right there. I don't have to go very far. But
so Marco, do you think we're transitioning or going to transition into a full-blown buyer's market?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Lot going on right now, honestly, with the up here in the I know the whole country is being affected, but Northeast, it's out of control. So there's definitely a lot of fear and uncertainty in the market.
It's gonna get worse before it gets better. And it's been a buyer's market, and I'm still buying 1,500 units a year at heavily discounted prices, 20-30% off on every single property we buy. And now it's just even better, specifically in the hospitality space, in the hotel space, where no one's going to hotels, but if there's ways to make money in this economy in the hotel business. You just have to look at it differently. In any business, single families, everything, like there's always an opportunity somewhere. You just have to look at the angle. That's it.
Of course. Yeah, I haven't looked too much into the hotel space. I've always been intrigued by it. So do you consider the hotel business the real estate investing, or is it more like running a day-to-day business?
When you play Monopoly, what's the best thing you can buy?
This is true. Yeah, it's like because it's like short term. It's like day to day, and now there's like the whole thing.
So I can raise my rents daily. So the weekends I can get $200 a night for a hotel, and I'll get $60 during the week. But the weekend I can spend, I can raise my rents. So it's a business. But I don't run the business. So here's what I know about myself is I suck at running things. All right. I'm really, really terrible, but I know that there are management companies that are really, really good. I've had to kiss a lot of frogs to get to the right prince and princesses, right? This is like dating. You're not going to find the right, I know a lot of people that have bad experiences with managers and they took all my money. This happened, that happened. Lawyers, same thing. Just because you had a bad experience with one lawyer doesn't mean that all lawyers are bad. Or I had one bad experience with a wife doesn't mean I'm going to men now. Just that woman was not good.
Right.
So find a better woman, just not better than that one. So
understood.
That's all.
So yeah. What asset classes are you focused on right now? Are you doing like C's, B's, A's? You're just kind of doing it all, or? No.
So A is obviously the prime, most expensive real estate with the lowest return. I like higher returns, so I'll do B, C, and D plus. Okay. But if it's if it's in a really rough area, if my daughter can't go collect the rent when it's dark, we're not buying it. Period.
So what kind of hotels then? Are we talking like Motel 6s, Super 8s kind of deal, or like Hampton Inns, Holiday Inns, stuff like that?
I have a Holiday Inn. I have a whole bunch of Red Roofs. I have a lot of Independents, Quality Inns. I have Days Inn. I have Econo Lodges. So 3-star is where the money is made. 3.5 star. That's where the money is. The 4 or 5-star hotels are a Marriott. You're lucky to make a 4 or 5% return, 5.5, which is dangerous because I don't want to get into telling you how to buy a hotel yet, because it's a lot of moving parts. But this biggest expense is people, is the employees that you have, and your payroll. Like on one of my smaller hotels is $400,000 a year for payroll. So, and if you mismanage the employees and how they're scheduled, that small mishap is an extra $200,000, which is which is the difference between being profitable and not profitable. So it's, unless you know what you're doing, don't get into it. That's why if you want to buy a hotel, I can definitely show you how. What's awesome about a hotel, we just bought one 2 days ago, Thursday. When was that? A few days ago, or Tuesday today? So 4 or 5 days
today's
ago?
Monday.
Or whatever day we're on. Yeah.
A couple days ago.
Whenever it was Thursday. And that makes $400,000 net a year
Really?
on one transaction. Yeah, zero money out of pocket, all financed, 100% finance.
Where's it at?
It's in Philadelphia.
Philly.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
And this is a property you've never been to.
Never been to. Don't want to see it. Not interested. They don't even know that the people that are running it know that I'm the owner, but no one else will.
Wow. That sounds like my kind of real estate, honestly. Because the housing business, not so much. I mean,
it's a great business. You get a lot of money.
But you really need to go to the single family house and do your due diligence and walk the property. Unless you have boots on the ground. But in the commercial space, I know that a lot more can be done behind the computer, right? Based on the numbers, based on the
still get an inspector. If I go I'm going to get an inspector to inspect the property anyway, right? I'm going to pay him, and his job is to look for anything that they can find. I'm going to have a management company. 3 management companies that are going to go scour the property. Whether I'm buying a hotel, a mobile home park, I'm going to get a full report as to what's wrong. If I stick my head to a mobile home park, what value am I going to give that someone else that lives there would know much better? The inspector knows what to look for. I give him a checklist, or her. My management company, I'm going to give them a checklist, because I've already created the checklist. Here's the checklist. I want you to fill everything out, and if it's not all filled out, you don't get paid. Are we clear? Good. Go do it. They go do it. I look at it. These are the areas of concern. I go back to the seller, since it's under contract. It's now we're doing our due diligence, saying, hey man, you said this, and this was fine. This isn't fine. What are we going to do about it? And then that generally results in lowering the price, or we create terms where, hey, I was going to give you all this money now. Instead of giving you all this money now, I'm going to give you 80% of it now. We're going to hold back 20%. And if the rents are what you said they are, then we'll release the 20. If not, it comes back to me. Done that multiple times. It's called a rental guarantee agreement.
Marco, you definitely have quite the operation, man, and very, very inspiring. So for the listener out there right now that, the light bulb's going off, they're having that aha moment. They're just getting started, right? They're brand new to the space, real estate business, entrepreneurship. What would you tell that person? Like, one of the best and biggest tips is to get started.
Remember that you don't matter. Let me explain that. The seller needs to sell, and they're going to sell because they want help. They need to sell. And unless you're using your own money, which is fine, then you do matter, because it's your money. Because I'm never using my money. I'm using lenders' money. I have lenders that are teed up, needing to lend, and I mean needing to lend. I get a call every day. Hey, I have too much money. I need you to use it. So I'm under pressure to spend their money, but I can't use their money unless there's a discount on the property. So my job is to communicate, because now I'm helping the seller if I can get the right price. And if I can get the right price, I'm helping the lender. So I'm really in the sandwich business. I don't matter. I'm buying the property at this price. I'm using their money at this price, and I'm making the spread. I'm making the difference. Mm-hmm. And I'm not emotional about the transaction. It's, I want to help you, but I need to get it at the right price in order for me to buy it. If I don't buy it at the right price, I can't buy it. I just can't. The money that I use won't let me write the check unless the numbers check out. The numbers are what matters, not what your thoughts are, not what you could possibly make in the future. It's do the numbers make sense? Yes or no? And remove yourself from the equation and make sure that you really understand the numbers. And that took me a long time to figure out, because if you can get the numbers right, everything else makes sense. You'll just make money no matter what, because the numbers check out. So you have to just make sure that you're not emotionally, personally invested in what the outcome is. It's more about how can I help this other person by having the numbers check out. Hopefully that makes sense.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, real estate's a numbers game, 100%.
It is.
When I see people that lose money on deals, it's because more than likely it's because they didn't do their due diligence properly. They overvalued the property, underestimated the repairs, whatever it may be.
Yes,
it's a fatal mistake, So, Marco, do you have any favorite books that you would recommend our listeners out there?
I've got so many. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck is a good one.
Dude, I haven't read that one yet.
It's orange. It's a good book. It's very good. Never Split the Difference is also a good book on negotiation, which I recommend. Who Moved My Cheese? It's a small little book by Spencer Johnson, and it talks about change. And change is very hard for most because we're comfortable being comfortable. And the problem is that the world is always changing. And if you don't change, the world is going to change around you. And by that time, the force of change will be much more painful than the change you could have foreseen. So it's also a very good book. And that's an easy read. You can read, it's maybe a 30, 45-minute read. It's a very small little book. You can actually, I think, YouTube Who Moved My Cheese. It's
that's like an OG book, right? That book's been around.
This is from before. The writer went to school with Moses. Like, this thing has been around.
Yeah,
right?
I've heard the book. I've never read it. Wow,
you can watch it on YouTube. If you're just Who Moved My Cheese YouTube video, you can watch a little cartoon. It's a really interesting. I make everyone that I work with, anyone that works with me, that is an employee of mine or that is in my hotels or running my businesses, they have to read that book yearly. It's a great book.
Now, when we talk about change and like you said, people are comfortable being comfortable, and being uncomfortable is, not a good feeling for a lot of people. What kind of things need to change in somebody's life? Like, when you say the world is changing and we need to change with the world, like, what kind of things are you talking about?
Well, I'm talking about everything. If you don't take care of your health, that change is going to be very painful, right? We work really hard. We bust our ass. We don't take care of our health. So we can buy things that don't really matter at the end of the day. They matter to us, but they really don't in the end. If that makes any sense. We're trying to buy the fanciest car to impress someone that doesn't really care about us anyway. And then we work so hard not taking care of our health. And when we have money, then we spend all our money on healthcare and we have no money left anyway. So what was the point of doing all that? Just to be back at zero. Improving our mind, what new things are you learning or applying? How could you, as kids, we loved learning new things. Things happened and we were excited about things. So many people that have lost their joy of just their joy. When's the last time you were really having a lot of joy? Like a lot of joy that you just laughed and had fun. Specifically in Northeast, that's hard. People are just so busy.
The last time was when I went jet skiing.
Yeah, but you felt alive, right? Or when you go dancing, or when you're watching a movie, we're present. We're not busy on this and this. We're not looking at anything that allows us to be present gives us joy. When you're dancing, when you're on a date, when you're making love to the person that you love, or if you're a kid, then don't do that, obviously. But don't mean to be weird, but whenever we're doing things that allow us to be present and in that moment, we have generally a lot of joy. And what I love about investing in real estate, whether single families or, which I haven't done in a while, but multifamily, whatever that is, it's a lot of fun. If you look at it from a perspective of it's not work, it's fun. I get to talk to someone that needs to sell. How can I find a way of buying their property? Because it's not always get financing by the property. Specifically in single families, you can take over the debt. You can do wraparounds. You can do lease options. You can do sandwich lease options. You do contract for deeds. There's so many tools in your toolbox. Again, you have to learn these things, but you can make a lot of money on a property where the seller wants to sell it for full price, and you can still make a boatload of money if you just know the angle. And it's fun. It's really fun to see folks that are just getting involved, that really don't know their ass from their elbow. They don't know what's going on, and they start learning different things and techniques. And then, that really worked. And then I want to do this, and that really worked. I want to do that. It's just so much fun. It's really exciting. I don't know what the question was. I went on a tangent. I should have taken my ADHD.
Dude, I love it, man. No, I love it, honestly. Really good stuff, man. Definitely a lot of value there. And I agree with you 100%. You gotta do things that make you feel good. See, I'm a big believer, Marco, that money truly doesn't buy happiness. Like, money's a tool.
It can't. No,
it can't. Like, it just can't. And
money is a byproduct. Yeah. Money is a byproduct of a problem you've solved.
Boom. You got to do things that make you happy, right? Life is precious, beautiful. You got to you got to live it.
You got to live it and love it. And if you're working hard for money, you're not doing it right.
Boom.
You can work hard, but don't work hard for money. Work hard for a project that makes you money for not once, but for a long time. If you buy a single family property, great. It should be making you monthly cash flow. If it doesn't, I don't know if you should buy it. Just my opinion. You might think differently, but if I can't pay the mortgage with a tenant, why would I buy it? And the only reason I don't do single family is because one mortgage, one tenant, to me, is too scary for me. I can afford it if they can't pay, but if someone's just starting, and again, I'm not poo-pooing single family at all, because you can create strategies so that you minimize that risk. But I know too many people that get involved, they buy a property, and the tenant leaves, or there's no tenant, and the wheels fall off the wagon, and they start crying because they just didn't do it right.
I've done single family rentals before, and as a landlord myself, like, I've experienced more headaches with certain properties. Even just little handyman stuff. Oil down the drain. I got to send a plumber. Water heater's busted. There's
Jerry Springer tenants galore.
Fucking birds in the attic. It's like, geez, man. So much going on. So I agree with you.
Springer 101, man. If you want to learn how, and that's why I have property management. I'll pay them, 10% the first year. I don't pay them that the second year, but the first year I always pay them 10, because it's the first year is the hardest. And earn your 10%, so I don't have to pick up the phone. And I've had tenants call me in the middle of the night when I first started. You're my bitch. You fix this. I pay you rent. You gotta, oh my God. And I am a little Canadian, like I was like Mr. Burns, when I first came down, like, okay, I'll just do whatever you want. I was a little bitch. I really was. And they were calling me little bitch. And I had to learn how to deal with that. It was really hard my first few years, because I was picking up calls constantly. I was like, I hate this business. It wasn't the business that was wrong. It was how I set it up that was wrong.
Absolutely. So, Marco, let's talk about the finish line. So, where do you see yourself and your operation 5 years, 10 years, 20 years from now? What does that look like? What kind of goals do you have set for yourself?
Well, I tried retiring 2 years ago. That didn't work out well for me. So I really don't have a finish line. I think a finish line is like the horizon. I don't think you ever get there. If your dreams aren't big enough, then if they're not scaring the shit out of you, then you're not dreaming big enough. I don't really want to achieve anything specific. I just want to keep helping and impacting as many people as possible. And my finish line is really going to be death. And even that, I don't know if that's a finish line either, depending on what we all believe in. But I'm just going to try to help and impact and empower and inspire as many people as possible to stop believing in the lie that time is money, because time is not money. There's an unlimited amount of money to be had, and you have a limited of time on this planet. So wealthy people have told you that time is money so they can buy you at wholesale. Because if you're working for someone else, you're working wholesale. You're not working retail, because they're making money on you. So get out of that as soon as possible. No one's going to take care of you except for you, and you have to build a business around yourself. Real estate gives you tax deductions. When you get a paycheck, the first person that gets paid is the government, not you. When you own real estate, the last person to get paid is the government, again, if you do it the right way. Plus, every $1 million of property that you own, you get $36,000 of tax savings. Donald Trump owns billions of dollars in real estate. The first $200 million that he makes is tax-free because of all the real estate he owns. So all of us should buy as much real estate as possible. The IRS tax code is written for people that own real estate, not a working person. The bailout was $1,200 an American. That's a joke. It was $2 trillion. Trillion dollars at $1,200 an American. That's 400 billion. Where's the other 1.6 going? $1 trillion. That's 1,000 billion. All right.
Where's it going, Marco?
Where's it? It's going to big business to take care of them. And
$1,200. That's all they give you.
$1,200. You can't pay your bills on $1,200 fucking dollars. You can't even.
No way you can.
No fucking way. Pardon my French, but no. The only person that can take care of you is you, man.
That's it.
Now is the time. Now, like, go buy if you're doing this right, there's, sellers are dropping their prices like they're drawers. It's like, I need to get out of here. The right some sellers specifically, I have 5 that I look for: people that are in getting a divorce, people that are in the biggest one is disease, people that have a disease, which is very sad right now. And I'm not profiteering in any way from the coronavirus. I want to make that absolutely clear. I think it's terrible that anyone is getting hurt from this. It's awful. But if someone has cancer and they need to take care of their medical bills, or is sick and they need to take care of their medical bills, sadly, it's not free in this country. They need cash. Even if they have insurance, it still costs money. Mm-hmm. They need to sell an asset quickly. And if you're in that, they're going to sell it to someone. It might as well be you at a discount. Just be at the right place, right time, learn how to do it well. Listen to you, whatever advice you give, I'm sure you're going to give phenomenal advice so they can make more money than ever before. And I know that whatever that you tell them to do, they're going to crush it. So they're listening to the right person for sure.
Dude, thank you for that, man. I love it. Now, Marco, a lot of the listeners, they're going to want to hit you up, man. We talked about social media in the beginning. What's the best place for the listeners to reach out to you, man?
They can, I guess, my Instagram, which is marco.kozlowski, at marco.kozlowski. Is that right? I don't know if that works. Am I doing that right?
Yeah, for sure.
That's how new I am.
On Instagram, yeah, marco.kozlowski. And we'll link it down in the show notes. So you want people to message you over on Instagram and give you a follow?
DM me. You can also, if you want to learn how to market, also I have a little free marketing program. I don't know if you want me to give them that.
Plug it, man. Go ahead.
It's getdealsbytuesday.com. It's a very simple marketing sequence that you can start plugging in. It's super simple, but you can get deals like this even for single family. Actually, if you want to give it a shot, you'll probably get deals pretty quickly.
Getdealsbytuesday.com.
Getdealsbytuesday.com.
I like it. Why Tuesday?
It's better than Wednesday.
I like it, man. And Marco, I ask every guest this question, and this is what's going to wrap up the show. I want to ask you, Marco, what is the greatest piece of advice that you've ever received in your entire life?
Serve more.
Boom.
It's not about me. It's how much value can I give? If everyone gave more value than they got, I think the world would be a better place. And the only reason that I earn what I earn is because of that attitude. When I bought those properties in Vegas, I gave them 51%. I did the legwork. They put in the money. They saw that I was putting in the work, and we both made a shite ton of money doing that. And they were okay with me making money because I put them first. They were 51%. The more my lenders know that I'm buying the property at the right price, I'm not putting them in harm's way. I'm taking care of the seller in a human way. I want to be able to give you what you want, but I can't. The numbers aren't working. If you can come down, I can give you what you want. I can't buy this for this price. I can go buy 10 properties for that same price. And I'm not saying that yours isn't worth it. I just can't pay that. I need to have it at a better price. I'm leveling them with human to human. It's not about me. It's not how much money I'm going to make. It's not, I'm going to retire on your property. I'm not coming from a position of, I want to retire on this deal. How can we all make money together? How can we all work together So we serve each other. So we go into a long-term play together. When an agent comes to me with a deal, I don't nickel and dime his commission or her commission. I pay them full commission. They earned it. And the deal supports it. So it's long-term play. It's money is abundant. I've said this multiple times, I think, throughout this, is don't think that money is a limited resource. If you're swapping hours for dollars, I understand that it is. But if you switch your thinking and start going into this game, $100 will be like $100,000. If you lose $100,000, it's like losing $100. I want all of you to get to that point, and you can. You just have to up your thinking, listen to more podcasts like this, and just learn more, expand your mind. Because once your mind is expanded, it can never go back to the position it was. You can't unlearn something.
Boom. Golden nuggets. Love it, man. Marco, with that being said, I want to thank you so much for being on the Started Somewhere show, and look forward to staying connected, man. Thanks again. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you very much. I appreciate the opportunity, and I just hope everyone just goes and crushes it this year, and just makes this the best year they've ever had.
Absolutely. Awesome, man. Take care. Talk later.
Buddy.
Bye.
Bye-bye.